Hello, Jeffco. This is Shauna Fritzer with Jeffco PTA. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to go ahead and jump right into our agenda. And let's see, here we go. First thing we need is approval of the agenda and minutes. So let's start with the agenda. So can we approve by consensus, or is there anyone who needs to add anything? Can we approve by consensus? I'm checking chat right quick. Approve. All right. We're going to go ahead and move on. Agenda approved by consensus. Did everyone have a chance to look at Kay's lovely documents with the minutes? Can we approve those by consensus? Is there anyone who has any objections? Beautiful. Approve. All right. Let's approve by consensus and we will move on. Debbie, you're up next with our financial report. Oh, you're on mute right now. Hang on. Hi, Debbie.
Hello, there we go. Works when you turn your microphone on, huh? I just wanted to point out that we put a corrected version of the treasurer's report up late last night, right, Kay? I had the column on the over under budget had, I think, 4 sections that a formula got left off, so it didn't get pulled over properly. So thanks to Mike Elder for finding that. That's what happens when you cut and paste these things too much, I think. So,
it was cents, though, just for the record, pennies. So yeah, it was
that?
It was changed just for the record. So, but everything's uploaded.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
And you have to know somebody read her report.
What was that?
Somebody read your report.
I know. I was so impressed. I'm like, God, he really got in there. Thank you, Mike.
No problem.
Let's see. So I just wanted to point out that we did get a check from the Jeffco Council after our fiscal year had closed for dues last year. And so Colorado. That's what that membership received for 2019-20 into 2021. So that's not in our budget, but I really did want to put it in there because we do have that cash in the bank now. And so that's what that was. Other than paying our insurance, that's it. And our bank balances are $19,993.34 for checking. Let's see, $57.80 for that little savings account and $5,917.66 for Jane Hammond restricted funds.
Beautiful. Can I ask someone to send Casey the link to the meeting? She's also texting me. Any questions for Debbie on the budget? Thank you very much, Debbie. Much appreciated. Jen Cranberry, you're up next with a report on the fall conference and membership.
Hi, the fall membership, we just did the report this week, Debbie and I. We have 68 members, which is only 7 away from our final total for all of last year. So that's pretty cool, I feel. And we'll surpass last year, but my goal is still triple digits. So I'll work on that in the fall and the spring. And fall conference is going amazingly well. All of the officer training was last Saturday. It was super well attended. There were some great questions. I feel like we've had some great participation, and we've gotten a lot of good feedback. We've got one more Saturday this Saturday, and there's a lot of great information this Saturday with ballot measures and Jeffco health and safety. And I'm drawing a blank. And
mental health. Alistair's will be joining us again.
Yes.
So we're pretty excited about her. Jeffco Public Health, Dr. Johnson and Julie Wilkin from the district will be with us. So we're all pretty darn excited.
Communications, social media communications. Thank you, Jonna.
Communication. Yes. Can somebody let me know in the chat if you're able to send that link to Casey to make sure that she's got it? Thank you.
So I do feel like we'll have to look at fall conference for next year and maybe incorporate in some virtual sessions, even if we're allowed to get back in person. It's worked really well, and it's given an opportunity for people to come that may not have been able to otherwise. But it really has worked amazingly well. So I am very proud of what Shauna has done and has led, and it's been a really cool experience.
Yeah, it's been amazingly nice. So thank you so much. Kay just noted in the chat too, she needs all board members to check in here on the chat so that you can be counted for attendance. So can you please just type your name if it's different, or write present so Kay can record that? That would be really helpful. Thank you so very much. Much appreciated. And beautiful. Anyone able to send that link to Casey? Next one is district has asked for those volunteers for both the Strategic Planning and Advisory Council, which is back, and the calendar committee. So the calendar will be developing the calendars for the next 3 years. You've all been sent email about that as well. So if you're interested in volunteering for that, could you please email me by the end of the day tomorrow? That would be great. And thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share right quick so that we can actually move to our friends at the Jeffco Public Library. So Robin, I will just let you share your screen and be able to.
Okay.
You know what? You did go out and come back in, so there's a possibility that's not letting you.
I did. Sorry, I did not mean to get out.
Okay, I'm making you a co-host right now.
Okay. All right, let me find it here.
Beautiful.
All right, you see it okay? Can you hear me all right?
We can. It looks fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Well, good evening. Thank you, Lori, for putting me in touch with Shauna so that Brianna and I can present tonight. I'm Robin Lupa, the manager of kids and families for the Jeffco Library.
And I'm Brianna Francis, and I'm a coordinator for kids and families, specializing in service to K-5 students.
Tonight, we are going to give you an overview of how JCPL supports literacy. We'll talk about how we can collaborate, and we'll hope to learn from you about how the library can support your students, your families, and the Jeffco community. Let me switch slides here. Okay. Sorry, I'm having trouble moving forward. There we go. Okay. JCPL's Kids and Families team supports early literacy in our spaces, outreach, and programming. We know that reading, talking, singing, writing, and playing get kids ready to read and learn. And with that, our goals are to build brains, build word banks, raise readers, and get kids ready for school. One of JCPL's signature kids and families early literacy initiatives is 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. This program appealed to us for several reasons. It encourages home literacy and letting caregivers know that their role in getting kids ready for school is so important. With this program, families are encouraged to read together starting at birth. And everything counts, even the same favorite books over and over. So please, if you do have friends or little kids, please encourage them to stop by the library and pick up a form to start 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten and start tracking their books and earn great prizes along the way.
So JCPL supports school-age students in a number of ways. We offer responsive programming, readers advisory services, and outreach to teachers and to schools. We have an annual summer reading program that is meant to combat the summer slide and incentivize reading, and it includes educational, engaging programs for the whole family. In pre-COVID times, our regular programs included Lego challenges, STEAM programming, chess clubs, kids writing clubs, and yoga classes. We also host seasonal programming during school breaks, and that includes things like slime making or Halloween costume exchanges, Harry Potter parties, and Star Wars themed events.
Okay. All of our library locations provide opportunities for families to read, talk, sing, write, play, and discover together. Our toys and furnishings support this, although we don't have toys out now due to COVID. However, when we can safely bring them back, we will. That's timeline is very much unknown, of course. We have a team that carefully selects books and materials for kids, ranging from educational to recreational. These include board books, picture books, early readers, transitional chapter books, regular chapter books, and nonfiction. Our Spanish collection for kids is also thriving. We intentionally send representatives to an annual book fair in Guadalajara to select books from various cultures that we couldn't find through our regular vendors in the US. We strive for cultural diversity in our collections and our programming, allowing kids to see themselves as well as to be introduced to and experience others. And this is reflected in all of our collections, in print, in our ebooks, and content in our website, and also in our programming. We deliberately plan our story times and young readers book clubs to reflect that diversity.
All right, and now I'm going to give you a little tour of our website, jeffcolibrary.org. So,
and Shauna, could we make Brianna the co-presenter and I'll stop sharing? Would that be possible? Let me stop here.
Okay.
Okay.
Should be ready to go, Brianna.
Thank you so much. Okay, can you see our website?
I can.
Okay, great. Now, if you have any questions as I'm going along, just go ahead and shout them out, please. So this is the home screen for jeffcolibrary.org. And you can see up at the top, this red banner includes information about services that are constantly changing in the era of COVID. So if you need information about when libraries are actually open or how to access curbside services, it's going to be up here in this red banner. I'm going to show you a few places on the site, and the first one is the Kids and Families page. So here on the left side, kind of at the top, underneath Books and More, if we click on Kids and Families, this is the main landing page for Kids and Families. And we always highlight a few things. Robin mentioned our 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program. Raise a Reader is a month-long celebration that we have in September, and so that's about to come down.
Brianna, we have one question already, if that's okay. So Jonna wants to know if the info on the red banner, does it vary by library?
It can, yes. So some locations are offering curbside. Actually, they're all offering curbside except for Conifer. This is just where we put the most current information about when libraries are open and what services we're offering. With the election coming, there might be some tweaks to that. So it's just something to be aware of, especially if you're going to visit us in person.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. The other thing that I want to show on this page is our Get an Online Library card on the right side. Can you see that okay?
Yep.
Gotta move. There we go. Okay, so this is a link that you would follow to get an online library card instantaneously so that you could access digital materials, including ebooks, e-audiobooks, and our databases, which I'll talk about in just a minute. This is where we're kind of routing everybody at the moment to sign up for a card instantly. And then we just ask that within the next 30 days, you stop by one of our locations and make it a full access card. If we scroll down just a little bit, there is information about our virtual story times, and those go up. I think we're talking about those in a moment, but those are posted every weekday at 10:15. We've got a different story time going up.
Math. I didn't know you had math.
Yes, yes, we do. And math is fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, right? So
until you get to calculus. So
yeah, I know, right? And then you'll be crying, but that's okay.
I do pretty much.
Yeah. So you can kind of go through here using this caret on the right side and kind of see some different things. These are mostly staff generated lists and also highlighting different resources that we have. If we head on down we do have a feature called Stories for Staying In. Whoops, where'd you go? And these are book lists that feature digital titles. So these are all ebooks that you can access right away from home. So down
So
further.
something that parents who are working and maybe have some little ones, can
Yes.
they can access those, so somebody's reading to the kids?
Yes, and I'll show you another place. Actually, thank you. That's a good segue into my next thing I want to highlight, because
Almost
these
like
are
we planned it.
I know, right? So these are some of our online resources down here. It's bookended by a couple of really neat resources, Scholastic Go and the elementary Gale in Context online resources. And I'll talk about those in just a second. But since you mentioned, we also have BookFlix and Tumble Books. And these are collections of video storybooks or animated storybooks that you can pull up for a child. And basically they can read a book or have a book read to them online. And these are actually very fabulous anytime, but especially, you know, when you've got a child bouncing off the walls. So yes, these are online resources that would be kind of for homework help. And if we click again on the caret, you can see a little bit more. World Book, encyclopedias, and then Culturegrams, which is geography and social studies kind of. And then if you scroll down, there are here, well, where'd you go again? These are our staff lists. So we have created and cultivated lists on resources for families, as well as lists of books about important topics. We just did this one about voting. It's picture books and other books for kids about the importance of voting. If you liked Enola Holmes, this kind of thing. And this gives you a place to kind of find recommendations. As I mentioned earlier, we just finished our Raise a Reader celebration. So we've got some Raise a Reader lists that are kind of fun. And these are just great places to start if you're looking for suggestions on what to read with kids. And then, of course, last but never least, we have some games at the bottom, because kids in the libraries are always asking for games. So these are links to those. Now I'm going to
pretty secure, the games and things like that too, that if the kids are using those online, there's no way for strangers to be contacting them through them.
That's right. We do take a look at them. They are hosted by, like this one, for example, is Nickelodeon or Nick Jr. I think we've got PBS on here as well, and Sesame Street, Curious George, Sesame Street. So these are game systems that are all, or online games that are geared toward younger kids. So we can't guarantee that everything is safe and perfect, but we do make an effort. If I scroll back up to the very top again, I'm going to show you two more things. We're going to go to online library here, kind of in the center. And this is where you'll access any of our digital resources. If we click on ebooks, this is where we would go to look at digital ebooks or e-audio. Most of our collection is in a place called Access 360. And this is where we can search for ebooks or audiobooks. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that these Access 360 is an app and it is not whiteboard approved, so it cannot be accessed through Chromebooks and things like that issued by the district. Okay, but if you click here on the left.
Does it work on smartphones?
It sure does, yeah. I've always got a book that I'm listening to on my phone from here, so I do recommend it. But if we go down to the J's, juvenile fiction, I'll just show you that there is a nice collection of ebooks and audio for kids.
Yeah, it says place them on hold.
Yes.
So does that mean somebody else maybe has them right now? Or?
Yeah. So even though they're electronic, we can only purchase a certain number of digital copies. So sometimes you will have to place a hold on an ebook, and then you will get an email when it's ready for you.
Okay.
And they do turn over pretty quickly, which is nice. If I go up here to availability in the top right of the screen and change this to available now, we just see what is ready for us right now. And it's fairly easy to just check something out, and you can start reading it right away in your browser or in the app on an iPad or a smartphone or anything like that.
Awesome.
Are there any questions about Access 360?
I have a question.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Corey. I was wondering, so I've been using an app, and I can't even remember the name of it now. It used to be Overdrive,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's some Libby, I think it is.
Yes.
Through Jeffco Public Library, or at least I think through Jeffco Public Library. How does that system interact with Access 360? Does Access 360 have more titles, less titles, equal? How does all of that work?
That's a good question. So Overdrive is another product that is used by a lot of libraries. For Jefferson County Public, most of our collection is in Access 360 at this point, but we do have a smaller collection of materials in Overdrive. And the main reason for that is Access is not compatible with Kindles at this time. Overdrive is the only app that is compatible with the Kindle, which you probably know is a very common type of e-reader. So we want to be able to provide Kindle readers with ebook e-content as well. So we do have Overdrive. They do not interface. So they're just separate apps that run separately, but they are very similar in terms of their functions. So does that answer your question?
It does, thank you. I have a separate unrelated question to that. You mentioned that that Access 360 was not currently approved by, was it Whiteboard?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Is there some way that we can help you get that approved by Whiteboard so that our students can access this content while they're in building?
Yeah, we can talk about that. We have further on in our slides, we're going to talk a little bit about how we work with the school district. As it stands right now, a student could use the web interface of Access 360, like I'm doing right now, and just check out a book and read it in the browser, but they would have to be connected to a network to read it. But that's a good question, and we will talk about that in just a moment. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I have a question.
Yes.
I actually use Hoopla for my kids to read through my Kindle. So can I get them onto this Access 360 on their Chromebooks so that they don't have to be touching my stuff?
Yeah. Are they district issued Chromebooks?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, but you would have to do it using the web browser and not the Access 360 app.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
And thank you for mentioning Hoopla, because I'm going to bounce right out of here and show you just a couple quick things. If I scroll down a little bit more, first I'll go all the way to the bottom. This is where Overdrive is. So if you're looking for Kindle format specifically, you can find that material in Overdrive. It is a smaller collection. And then here's Hoopla, and it is a great source for videos, audiobooks, ebooks, full color graphic novels, things like that. And if I go up to the very top and switch from online library here to movies and TV, there's Hoopla again. So if you have not taken a look at Hoopla, please do so. But we also have Canopy for kids. And this is a collection of, I'm going to go ahead and click into this just to take a quick peek at it. Here are some more wonderful animated story time videos, which I absolutely adore, as well as some content that is more appropriate to younger kids. So it's all in its own little place. And you would need your library card to access this, but it is free and included with your library card privileges.
Well, that's pretty cool. I actually don't think I realized that movies were available on there.
Yeah. And what's nice about these is that they are always available. You don't have to wait for Hoopla or Canopy. And the very last thing I wanted to point out today, and under the services tab, kind of in the middle, just next door, we have, actually now I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about Culture Pass in a moment. So I'm going to show you where Culture Pass lives on the website as long as we're here. It's under services. And it's right here. And we are going to talk about that, Robin and I, in just a moment, but this is where you can get free museum passes. We also have a service that we've launched during COVID in which people can chat with a social worker and make an appointment with our library social worker if they need help navigating housing resources or food resources, or if they're just dealing with stress and anxiety. They can make an appointment and have a chat with Deborah, our social worker.
Wonderful. That's fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Are there any other questions about our website? Or Robin, is there anything I'm missing that you can think of?
No, that was thorough. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
That was wonderful. So
Great.
appreciate it. Appreciate that you have the census information up there as well.
Yeah.
And just loaded today, I believe we have our voting information. We got a preview of it today. I'm not sure how to get to it yet. I haven't played around with it yet, but we do have comprehensive voting information because some of our libraries will close to be early polling places. So as Brianna said, check the hours before you drive over because it's going to get a little sticky.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to stop sharing right now. All right.
Let me share mine here.
Okay.
Let's see, where are we? Okay, can you see it?
We can.
Yeah, all right. Okay, try to switch. There we go. All right. Thanks, Brianna, for the tour of the website. In addition to all of the rich content found online, our libraries are open. We were closed for a while during COVID, but fortunately we are open and in compliance with Jeffco public health guidelines. Each location has a limit to the number of people who can be in the building at any given time. We have somebody who does a head count at the door. However, we are open. Again, check the hours, please, because they vary sometimes from day to day or from the weekend to the weekdays. There are two options for our patrons. We have curbside services and walk-in services. And with curbside, you can pick up your holds. You can print with no cost. We're offering free printing. And you can discover new items with our grab and go bundles. So those are kind of like 5 mysteries in a bag or 5 science fiction books. We have them for kids and adults, and you find out what you got after you check it out. They contain 3 to 5 books or DVDs or audiobooks on popular themes. Walk-in is our traditional library services. You can come in, browse, ask questions of staff, receive reading recommendations, and pick up our very popular Lucky Day and Top Picks titles. We have reserved hours for people with underlying health conditions and high risk. So, for example, between the hours of 9 and 10, we may have that available for those folks. So please check our website for the hours as they may be adjusted. And also our bookmobile is available on Saturdays in Littleton at the Ken Carroll stop. And it's in a Safeway parking lot. Okay. While we're not offering in-library programming due to COVID, we just found out that our in-person programming will continue to be canceled till the end of the year. And we're just very much playing that by ear based on public health guidelines. As Brianna pointed out, our team does have virtual programming. So we have our story times we have a baby time, toddler time, preschool time, and cuentacuentos, which is a Spanish language story time, and also an ASL story time. So as Brianna said, every day you can find a new video to enjoy, watch with your kids. Move on. Sorry, I'm juggling 2 screens here, so. And that's the virtual storytime screen. So just talked about that. Yep. Okay. All right. Turn it back to Brianna.
Thank you. So one program that we do have going on right now is our Young Readers Book Club. It's a virtual or call-in program every Monday afternoon at 4:30, and it's for school-age kids. I think she's had kids ranging from like age 4 to 11 there, and every week there's a new theme, and they read whatever they would like on that theme. It can be a picture book or a chapter book or a graphic novel. And after they talk about their books, the presenter does a craft with them or introduces some new books, and it's just a really nice way for kids to socialize and share. And we have other virtual programming for kids, including Friday Crafternoons, martial arts program on Mondays, Dungeons and Dragons for tweens and teens, and more new programs are coming this fall, including a pet show and tell and virtual play dates for caregivers.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And
Can
just
you please make sure you share links, if you wouldn't mind, of those with me, so we can get those into our newsletter too. That'd be great.
absolutely.
Thank you.
We are contributing to your Peach Jar flyer. So you'll see the next one coming up, right, Brianna, is going to feature our Young Readers Book Club, and we really encourage more members to join. It's really a cute thing, and the presenter is making it work virtually. So we're proud of that one. Okay.
So supporting K-5 students, teachers, and schools during COVID-19 is a priority for JCPL. And so we have representatives from our team on Kids and Families, Teen Services, our communications department, and other senior managers meet regularly with the school district library staff to talk about what resources we have and to share information. We communicate directly with families, as Robin said, through Peach Jar Sends. And we provide each school's digital teacher librarian with a set of computer use only cards so that classrooms can access library databases and resources without having to remember everybody's library card or everybody's PIN number, because not all of our students have cards. And one hope that we have in sharing with you tonight is to find new ways that we can support Jeffco students and families, because it's just vital to all of us.
Well, Brianna, we would very much like to support a lot of this. So not only that, but I think maybe we can put some links to your registration, card registration for online too on our website. You know, some of the other parents can speak up here too. Peach Jar is kind of, most of the time I hate to say, I hit delete on the email. So because we get so many flyers, it's basically just an advertising platform for us. But I don't see your services as being that. So it's very valuable. So please send us anything at all that you want to share. That's
wonderful.
All of us.
Thank you.
That's great to know, Shauna. Would we send it directly to you and then you submit to members? Great, thank you.
Yep. And I will make sure you have my Jeffco PTA email in addition to my private one, so that when I am done with my term, that you continue to send that to the next president.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you.
And before we move on, let me mention real quick, someone asked earlier about how would we get Access 360 whiteboard approved. The issue with that is that none of the content is vetted in the sense that anybody who has a library card can access any of the content. So a second grader could go on there and read 50 Shades of Grey, technically. And so it's for that reason that it's not whiteboarded. Eventually, maybe we can have a better product or something similar, because I agree it would be wonderful to have. But again, at the library, we always just encourage parents to be the ones who are making the decisions about what's right and wrong for their students. So.
Understand, read a lot of Judy Blume myself.
I know. I love Judy Blume.
Too.
Yeah, so it's okay. All good. So John asked too here early on and during the COVID-19 pandemic, the library was making Wi-Fi available from the parking lot for those families who didn't have it. Are you still doing that? And if so, that is also something we could publicize.
Yes, the Wi-Fi is always on. To my knowledge, it's never turned off. And we are also, can I talk about the hotspots or?
Please do. Yeah, perfect.
So we are also, through that partnership with the library team at the school district, we are providing wireless hotspots to families in need, particularly in the Jefferson High School area, the Edgewater community. But if we have families who need wireless internet access, we can find a way to work with them.
Yeah, if you know of anybody who needs a hotspot, please email me, and we have our, Shauna has my email, of course, and we'll have our emails at the end. Just as an example, I think we've got 70 hotspots out in the community right now. When we started at the beginning of COVID, Head Starts, we're supporting those families. As Brianna said, the Jefferson High area. However, we will drive one anywhere. Yeah.
So Tina, great question, was asking about sharing this in our AEVP conversations. And I think that's an absolute yes. Hang on, let me get some resources on our website so that we can direct people exactly where we want them to go. And then I'll send that to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. So as I showed in the little tour of the website, we also offer the Culture Pass program and the State Parks Pass. The library purchased memberships at local art, culture, history, and outdoor destinations so that cardholders can explore Colorado for free. The museums include the Colorado Railroad Museum, Wings Over the Rockies. The Butterfly Pavilion is the perennial favorite, I think. But we also have the Denver Firefighters Museum, the Morrison Natural History Museum, and the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, the Molly Brown House, the Museo de las Americas, and the Rocky Mountain Quilt Museum, and Dinosaur Ridge. Let's see, History Colorado Center, and MCA Denver. So you can visit that page on our website, like I showed you, make a reservation for a pass, and each museum has a different limit on the number of people that can be admitted with the pass, but you just choose the day that you'd like to go, reserve the pass, print it out, or show it on your phone when you go to the museum, and the whole family can enjoy for the day for free. We also have the State Parks Pass, which is a backpack that you reserve and has a hang tag that will admit you to all of Colorado state parks for the week that you have the pass. We also have a lucky day version of that where you can come into the library, and if it's there and you're there, it's your lucky day and you can check it out. So that is another way that we're trying to provide access for our community.
I think you and I are going to be on email. So for the rest of this week, putting together every link to talk about this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And I guess this is really kind of open it up for more questions. Yeah, you all have a whole bunch of awesomes. Thank you. Everybody loves you, loves all the things that you're doing. Of course, we very much support our libraries, always have. So yes, my house was a location for yard signs for the library initiative a couple of years ago. So yeah, and worked with Rebecca on that before she retired. So Jeffco PTA, of course, supported that. As it goes forward, you know, if we need to do that again, of course, you should count on Jeffco PTA to help you with any of those initiatives. And you have always been, as a library, very receptive to helping us as well with our 5A, 5B, Amendment 73 campaigns as well. And even when you can't take a position, you do let us set up our tables outside your library location so that we can hand out information to people. So thank you very much. Shout out to the Belmar Library there. So from one of our people.
It's beautiful. Huh?
Yes. So I love the golden one too. That one's gorgeous. And Lori says, of course, and Lori, you're welcome to unmute yourself. Lori, thank you so much for bringing this up as an idea to share as a resource. So yes, I'm a big Lori Odom fan. So Dr. Odom is amazing. So, and always has all kinds of ideas for us. So thank you very much for bringing this up. It was a great idea. And you all, the libraries, Jeffco Public Library is amazing, does a great job. Yeah. So we actually have several friends who are librarians, and so yeah, so thank you so much for everything. Anyone else have any other questions? More thank yous, more thank yous. Another shout out for Golden. So, okay, then I'll say Arvada and Stanley Lake too. Those are wonderful. And the one that's down in Littleton by Columbine, so by the park there, that one's wonderful as well. I know Mike frequents that one. Anyone else?
And if you haven't seen our Edgewater library, that one's beautiful also. It's what, a year and a half, I think?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fairly
year and a half
new.
old.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was in there about a
Love
year
that
ago,
one.
and it is completely beautiful.
Yeah.
It's such a
Yeah.
welcoming, open space. It's fantastic. Oh, Nancy's got a shout out for Lakewood.
Oh,
Yep.
we love Lakewood. Yep.
Yeah.
We've hit them all.
There's
Yeah.
2 Lakewood ones, right? So there's one that's getting a redo or is in the process or maybe just done. And then there's the one on 20th and Miller about. So I pass that one
Exactly.
every day. So sometimes 3 times, 6 times a day as I go back and forth to school. Yeah, so thank you so much for this. We very, very, very much appreciate your time.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
We appreciate
Well,
it.
think about joining the Jeffco PTA, you know, if you get a chance, that'd be really lovely. So, but please do send us the information. It only costs $11 to join Jeffco PTA, just so you know. So we operate on a dime. So, but yeah, we appreciate your partnership in every possible way. And I would love to talk to you via email. So let's get a bunch of those lovely things on our website
Great.
as well.
All right. We will initiate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Well, I'm going to jump right back in here, friends. All right. So election 2020. So November 9th is when ballots will start dropping. So as PTA members, our number 1 role is advocacy. So child advocacy, so very important, especially this year during a pandemic. There's 34 days until the actual election. It is really time to start sharing information. Jonna, if you want to unmute yourself for just a minute too. We do have a number of things on a website. You've probably seen, if you're on Facebook, some of us share those. I'm going to be sending out the newsletter with all of those links. We have the positions we've taken on the ballot measures that impact public education this year. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I write something different? So October 9th, not November. Did I write that? Yeah. Oh, sorry. November 3rd is the election. November 9th is when ballots drop. So start dropping. So you'll be watching those there. So Jonna I said November. Sorry. Not enough caffeine yet. So I hate that. Yard signs, haven't had any yard signs for the initiatives that came out yet. So Jonna is in touch, I think, with like every campaign and is really working her tail off. There's also an advocacy update that Jonna sent out to all the AAVPs and Jeffco board, and it's on the website under advocacy for September 2020 that has links to all of our ballot initiatives. Please share that information. Jonna, jump in, please.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. It's like, well, what Shauna said. I tell you, I can't emphasize enough how important it is that we share information on 116 and on Amendment B. Amendment B is the Gallagher repeal, and 116 is the flat tax cut, flat tax rate income, state tax rate cut. If both of those were to go the wrong way, so if 116 were to pass, and if Gallagher Amendment B doesn't pass, it would literally devastate our school funding plus so many other things. So those are the 2 things that I just keep pounding on and pounding on and pounding on. We don't know anything about availability of yard signs for Amendment B or 116 and 117. And I should tell you that the campaign that's running 116 is also running 117. They're running them together.
And those are no.
Right.
No.
Right. Yeah. So anytime anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to holler. Like I put in the bottom of all of the updates that I send out, I am available to answer any questions. If anybody's talking to their individual PTA unit and they need somebody to stand by to answer some questions, not that I have all the answers, but I could probably figure out where to get the answers if I don't. Mm-hmm. So that's my big speech for the night.
Well, and that's all of this is so very important. public education funding, as we all know in Colorado, is awful. Just terrible, terrible, terrible. And go ahead, Jonna.
The other thing I want to throw out there, we've been pushing it, and that's the October count. And we've pushed that out there. It's so important for people, especially a lot of folks that have been keeping their kids home or been using pods for whatever reason. They need to understand the importance of the October count time window, and the fact that kids that are not enrolled after the October count, they don't get counted for that school. And then if they enroll them 2 days later, even, that school has responsibility for educating the students, because what else would they do? But they don't get the dollars for them. So share that information as much as you can. AAVPs, I really do hope you will just hammer on your individual units to share it with their community, not just their PTA members, because there are lots of folks that are in the community, may not even be members, that maybe have strayed a little bit from the enrollment piece. So, okay.
And Donna, Corey actually brought up here too that Fairtax Colorado is printing no on 116 yard signs, and we'll make them available free of charge if we reach out to them. I don't know about that, but
I'll check and see what I can find out. I'm guessing
Okay.
it'll probably be a lot like they did the 271 yard signs,
Okay.
where you kind of print it your own, because there's just really no money for
Yeah.
that. So as a matter of fact, the campaign that's doing the no on 116, 117 evolved out of the group that's doing the paid family leave, which is also tied to the group, the Vision 2020 group that brought up
Okay.
271.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all of that. And folks, the funny stuff that we share on social media and stuff too, for entertainment, that's wonderful. Share that as much as you want. But when it comes to advocacy and when it comes to impacting our schools, especially negatively, as some of these will do, please, please, please share that information. And again, if you've got someone, Facebook, warrior who wants to fight with you, contact me or Jonna. Natalie's actually really good at this as well. So please just reach out to us, and we will help you with that. But please, please, please share it. Future of Jeffco. Last night you saw I sent you an email, sent you 2 emails. So because I messed up, where we have the nominating committee. So you all have seen that, I hope. Yes. Has everyone seen that email with the link? Those are our volunteers that have come forward, and let me see here. All right, everybody's seen it. If you have seen that link, so if somebody else wants to volunteer, you're welcome to add your name to that list from the floor. Our bylaws state that we have to have one person from exec. So exec nominated Debbie Carpenter. Although I gave you a vote on it anyway, even though exec nominates her. We need 2 board members, and we did have Mike and Michelle come forward to volunteer for that. So thank you, thank you. And then the next section under that are people from local units, so who are members. And I've noted on that form where all of those people are from, so that you know what area they're from, what PTAs they're with, and they've been engaged with Jeffco PTA and with their own PTA very much so. So in that section, because we have to have 2 alternates, we need you to pick 4. Now, Kay Slater, our secretary, and Michelle Patterson, who's our parliamentarian, both have access to the voting document. So I'm not touching anything. I'm not gonna go out of there. Let's see, hang on. I'm gonna show you that. Now, that's Debbie's treasurer report. Let me go to, hang on. I have to exit out of this to get there. Boy, if it would just let me move around a little more freely in Zoom. This is the form. So you're going to vote for 2 people in this section. There are only 2 people. You're going to vote for 4 here. So take your pick. If anybody else wants to add their name, we can modify this form as well. So I know everybody's not begging to be on another committee, but please feel free to speak up if you want to. Michelle, do you have anything else to add as my parliamentarian? Thank you for being here. And I bugged her a whole bunch of times yesterday to make sure that we were voting correctly.
Nope, sounds good.
Okay. There's a message in chat here. Oh, Corey just shared the link here. So to chat, if you did not, whoops, hang on. I'm going to include this link in here too. If anybody has any questions, does anyone have any questions? Could I have a, well, we need to go ahead and start voting. And then Kay and Michelle will monitor the votes. I can see how many responses we have here. I will not be voting unless we have a tie one way or another. Please vote. Please, please vote. Is everyone able to get to the link to vote? Feel free to type in chat or ask your questions. All right, Jeanette's voted. Liz has got it done. Jonna's taking care of it. Mike's done. Cindy's done. Tim is done. Lori's taking care of Lori Odom. Dr. Odom. So Ms. Granberry's taking care of it. Natalie's done. Tina's done. Carrie's done. Susan is done. Casey is done. Anyone else? Jeanette, you are correct. Members of Jeffco PTA so can take care of this. So Jeanette, you are eligible to vote. Corey, you are done. Thank you for clarifying that, Jeanette. The vote is for members of the Jeffco PTA board. Don't worry about it if you're one of our guests who have joined us. That's completely okay. We just won't count it. It's fine. Wendy, thank you, is done. Sapphire's done. Katie Herrera's done. Nancy's done. Debbie's done. Lori Avery's done. Anyone else? All right. Michelle and Kay, I'm going to leave you two to come up with the numbers if that's okay. And then you can message each other privately and let me know when you're ready to report.
Okay, gonna take a few minutes.
Yeah. So you go ahead and take your few minutes and I will keep everybody busy, right? So beautiful. New board member. So Dr. Susan Leach, our Chief Student Success Officer, has joined our Jeffco PTA board. Dr. Leach, we wanted to say thank you to you. We haven't had someone from Cabinet on for a while. If you did not get a chance to watch our kickoff, Susan actually did that at our fall conference 2 weeks ago, and it was amazing. And we got so much information, so much feedback, positive feedback about Dr. Leach's speech. She's really wonderful. She's a mother like us. She is fabulous. You guys are right. Susan, you're having a whole bunch of welcomes and everybody is very, very excited to have you here too. We just keep adding more board members. So this is wonderful, but we haven't had someone on cabinet. So since Dr. Stevenson left us a few years ago on our actual Jeffco PTA board. So we are so very thankful and grateful to you for joining Jeffco PTA and being a part of this. And actually, if you want to unmute yourself, we'd love to hear from you. No, I'm not to put you on the spot. I'm not giving you any assignments.
That's okay. I was just going to say, I feel so honored to be here. This is just one of the most gracious groups that I've had the pleasure to spend time with since I've been here for the last couple of years. So I'm very excited to be here, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, we are thankful to you. So you seriously made my day. And just so you all know too, Dr. Leach actually joined Jeffco PTA without us asking. No one said anything. So, and you know, Jen was doing membership and I saw her name and went, whoa, stop the presses. This is wonderful. And as you all know, so I've been having conversations with various people to try to get more engagement with the school district. And we are so, so happy to have you, beyond happy. So welcome. You're getting lots of welcomes and thanks from everybody here on the board. We have wonderful, wonderful people here with Jeffco PTA. I think you will love every single one of them. I can't wait for the day when we can get in person. So, and I'm scared more and more that it may be after my term is over and the nominating committee has selected our future leadership of Jeffco PTA. So, but in the meantime, we have Zoom. So, and if no one's told you, so you are welcome to, you know, have a drink. I have a Starbucks. So, but if you need a wine with your PTA meeting, so that is completely okay as well. Does anyone have any new business to bring up?
Yeah, I just want to talk for a moment with the AVPs. Are doing a great job. The communication this year has, I don't know, 5-6 times more communications back from the units than we saw last year. You guys are fulfilling the dream of being the value add as AVPs. A great job. Keep it up. Thank you.
I will second that. And just to clarify, AAVP is our Articulation Area Vice President. And those are basically our AAVP team is stellar. It's led by Mike. He's our AAVP mentor. And those folks actually go out to email all of our different PTA leaders, and nearly every school in Jeffco, there's only a handful of them who don't have a PTA. If you have the PT other thing, so which has nothing to do with PTA, World Child Advocacy Organization, we're not a fundraising organization. We do some fundraising, but we're primarily a child advocacy organization. It is this wonderful network, and I will say our Jeffco PTA board, I will say is second to none. We are really doing amazing things here in Colorado. About a third of the PTAs in Colorado actually are right here in Jeffco. So we have a gigantic lift, and it's amazing what this team has done, all of the board. So for that matter, but our AVPs are keeping that communication, and their job is to become the best friend for our local units so that they have someone to go to anytime they need help. And that, as you can imagine, most certainly cuts down on the number of emails. Oh, Jonna is just popped in here too with, she just checked on no on 116, 117 yard signs. She says that they'll be available in about 10 days. Still trying to learn if there will be any donation requested or a limit. If they have enough, she can see about getting a stash to hand out here in Jeffco. In the past too, so I've been a north location for yard signs. Kay has been a south location for yard signs. If we're able, depending on if they're asking for a donation, you may end up seeing an email. I'll talk to exec about this to see if we might be able to make a small advocacy donation to get those. And then we'll do our best to plop those on our porches so that you can, in a distance fashion, show up to our porches and grab your yard sign. So, Jonna, that would be wonderful. And then if you can coordinate with me, we can do the best that we can. And maybe we can help the campaign a little tiny bit. So, because these are so very crucial. Any other new business? Well, I am going to honor every single one of you on this call. Thank you for joining this. I know it's not easy to add another Zoom meeting. Everybody's doing just stellar work, not just our AVPs. So Lori Odom, boy, she's constantly coming up with new resources. If you have not been on the jcpta.org website yet, I challenge you to go peruse the items that are on that website and see just how many resources we have. It's not just forms for running your PTA. It is anything and everything. And as we talked, we also are having the library, so resources pop up on there as well. Please make sure that you continue to share the suicide prevention trainings. That's another one of our priorities. This Saturday, there are still some really wonderful classes to attend. Please do take note of those. Let's see, we've got another one. Stay tuned. Everybody remember October count. That's tomorrow. If you want to pop onto Facebook after we're done with this meeting tonight, or even while we're right here on it, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and remind people, tomorrow's count day. It is very, very important that everyone shows up. I actually saw in a Facebook group the other day, and thankfully it wasn't in Jeffco, but there was someone advocating for keeping your kids home from school on count day to punish the school district. That impacts funding that our schools have to serve our children. So that is not the right way to protest. If you would like to protest something, please, please, please advocate for count day tomorrow, getting your kids to school. It's so very crucial. Remind people that that is tomorrow. There's a little window, there's some wiggle room. Susan, I don't know if you can speak to this or not, but I've heard from some of our principals that, there's, some families who've chose to homeschool or do a home school pod kind of thing this year. So we may lose some funding because of this strange pandemic here, and that could impact all of our children. Natalie, thanks for bringing up also that census, the last day for the census, October 5th. So that's another one to share. The census has been on our website and in our newsletters for months and months and months. Jeanette, I'm actually surprised that you didn't bring that one up. So her husband works in Jeffco, and he works on the census as well. They're a wonderful, wonderful family. Please remind people that the census is very important. And I've seen people on social media also thinking it's government overreach. It's a law. So we do a census every 10 years. That also impacts funding. It also impacts, legislators that are available to serve us. So these are big, big things. It's not a small deal. So please do advocate. Don't be afraid to advocate. Yes, a reminder that PTA supports Proposition EE. Very important. Those links for all of those initiatives, ballot measures, are up on our website. Please grab them any old time and send them out to your friends, put them on social media. Mike notes that census is not only the law, it's constitutional. That's correct. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Anything anybody else wants to bring up? Michelle and Kay, how are we coming?
One sec, I'm just double checking.
Okay.
And I didn't count like 2 whole rows because it's Wednesday. I'm working on it.
I know, not to put you on the spot. So thank you very much for doing this. You are very appreciated. Anyone else want to bring up anything in chat? I can do this. Here we go. While we wait for our vote, and you two both go right ahead and interrupt me at any time, make sure that you take a look under advocacy. You're going to see election guides. Those are some pretty cool things to share with your units or friends. Amendment B is a yes. Proposition EE is a yes. Proposition 116 is a no. 17 is a no. 118 is a yes. Oops, I need to, just lost my chat. So please take a look at that. if you look here further down under, where am I? October count is approaching. That information is right here if you want to share that. Advocacy liaisons. If you look under Jeffco Advocacy Committee, you're going to find that Jeffco Advocacy update here on September 2020. Everything is there in the email that John has sent out to everyone. So those of you who are staff members, remember that you do not use your Jeffco .k12.co.us to share those things. Use your personal email address. So we don't want anybody in trouble. Of course, we've done things like the golden tobacco ordinance from last year. That was Dr. Odom, of course, put that one together as well. Information on what the accountability committees, events. So this is a really important one here. If you click on events, you're going to go to every single one of these dates for our meetings this year are up here along with the list. So our fall conference is still live. This one will go away tomorrow. October is ready to go. So that'll be our ballot initiatives meeting. You can register, you can give this to your friends to register as board meetings. Board members, you will already get this information. So the Zoom link, but you can invite friends. You're welcome to invite anyone you want to within the Jefferson County community. Well, for that matter, if they want to be somewhere else in Colorado, that's fine too. They don't have to be board members or PTA members to join our town halls. Our meetings are open to the public. We're going to cover this. HR staff, David Bell, contacted me because I've been poking at him for a couple of years about diversity in our staff and how we can work on that and make a big difference. And they're going to show us their strategic talent acquisition plan at the November meeting. So I haven't built everything yet. December, as you all know, we take off. Maybe we can do a happy hour together, just the board. And then January is going to be an LGBTQ resources presentation. February 24th is a whole bunch of everyone's favorite teacher who serves non-traditional learners. That one will be very exciting. March is our annual general meeting and elections for the next board of Jeffco PTA. April is always our celebration, the Jeffco PTA Spring Fling. So we'll see how that looks this year. Our suicide preventions are under there too. And Dr. Leach, your staff has been amazing at trying to partner to advertise what we have available and what you have available so we get more families trained as well. Special meetings and our past board meetings are up there for examples for our PTAs. Now I want you to take a look at some of this here too. These were the awards that we did last year. Our awards will look the same this year. Census 2020 is up here. Dr. Odom has put together almost all of this with the COVID-19 novel coronavirus page. That's a good one to look at. Device problems, where to go for help with the district, graduation dates. That needs to come off there because that's over now. Masks. You have people arguing about masks. Dr. Odom again, pediatric oncologist. So put together the facts about masks for us so people understand that. Pandemic EBT, that date.
But he doesn't like Mike.
Yeah, pandemic EBT is just passed. So that one will come off of there too. School meals, free and reduced. We have some information on special education during the coronavirus that we could probably update there too. And I think we'll probably be working with Dr. Leach about some of these others. Self-care resources, school finance, so people understand this. 12 talks with teens. These are fantastic, phenomenal resources, and we need to get them out there. Whoops. So please play with that. Yep, Jonna, good point. Tomorrow night is the Jeffco school board meeting. So Jonna wanted to know, does Dr. Leach have any information to offer about which agenda item? She believes
just the meeting in general. I looked at the agenda and I don't remember anything other than I saw the resolutions that I know they're considering, but I didn't know if there was anything specific that maybe Dr. Leach would like to mention about the agenda in general or anything like that.
I'm trying to think if there's anything. I mean, there will be some budget discussion talking about October count. We do anticipate a pretty significant decline in enrollment, and there's no other way to put it. We don't have those numbers yet, but that's going to have an impact. So we're talking about budget, we're talking about learning, literacy learning. There are a number of consent agenda items related to building and the resolutions. I know that they're looking at a couple resolutions, but I understand that those were pulled for discussion. So you'll hear that there were some questions from a board member around the resolutions around Gallagher. So there will be some discussion around those. But I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that would be of interest to you.
I do know, and Jonna brought this up as well, so that the board will be looking at resolutions to oppose 116 and to support Amendment B as well. So those are going to be crucial. So remember that. Kay and Michelle, you need a little bit more time.
Yep, already.
Okay. Well, I'm going to hand it over to you two then. So Kay, would you announce?
Yes, absolutely. So we have Debbie Carpenter.
Woohoo!
Yay! Michelle and Mike, obviously.
Woo!
And then our 4 representatives will be Tammy. Let's see, Tammy, Darcy, Mari, and Christina.
Beautiful.
Our alternates will be Rihanna and Dennett.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone for voting. Thanks for sticking around with us. If we have no further business, I will formally end the meeting unless anyone brings anything up. All right. Great meeting. So this meeting is formally